Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Sincere, here.
I'm trying to get my sound set up. Okay. Check, check. Great. I hope you guys can hear me. Let me just make sure the audio is good. All right, perfect. Audio is good. All right, all right. So let's try to count down one more time, and we'll go back into it. Okay, that was good. Okay, so once again, what's up, everybody? My name is Sincere from the Standard 81 podcast, and I am back again for another episode or another discussion. Um, Today, we are going to be talking about choices and trade offs. Uh, and I'm a little excited about this one because this is one I've been looking forward to, and this is video 10. So I've hit a mark for me that I've been looking forward to with these discussions. Before I get into it, please like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you share this with people that you know, and like, just give me a like. And if you're rewatching this after the video is recorded, just put down there in the comments rewatch and let me know how you like it. Anyways, let's get started. Tonight's discussion is going to be called choices and trade-offs. All right, so let's get this thing started. Having a lot of technical difficulties tonight, man, for some odd reason. But anyways, let's get this started. Choices and trade-offs. Uh, in life, we make decisions. Some are hard, and uh, others need to be thought out. But the truth is, with each decision, there's a trade-off. The hard thing is often finding what those decisions should be. Now, guys, here's how I want to start this. I just read that opening statement because because that statement holds true. In life, there are choices and trade-offs, and I know we talked about consequences and some other things that go along with consequences. But in choices and trade-offs, there's not necessarily always this negative versus positive thing. It's sometimes it is just an exchange from one thing to the other, which I'll get into later. But I think a lot of times we look at choices and trade-offs as consequences, when in reality, what it is just finding a way to make a decision and saying, okay, with this decision, I'm going to have to negate this in order to get that, right? For instance, let me give you an example. In order for you to lose weight and get and be healthy, you've got to go to the gym and eat right. So that means you're going to have to give up, you know, maybe a part of your sleeping routine or a part of your pattern in order to include something that you haven't had before. Or uh, let's just say you want to start in a new company. Well, you're not going to be able to take the same route that you took to work previously. You're going to have to find a new route to work because it's a new job. It's a choice and a trade-off. You made a choice to get a new job. Now you got to find a new route. That's the trade-off for it. All right. So here's the next thing. You can have your cake. There's an old saying, you can't have your cake and eat it too. But I say that you can. The question is, do you like what you prepared with the cake? Do you like the ingredients that you use? So I want to go back to that. People often say you can't have your cake and eat it too. I don't believe that's necessarily right. I believe that you can have your cake and eat it too. And here's how I say it. It's both negative and positive, and I'm gonna explain both. And this is why we're talking about choices and trade-offs. Depending on the ingredients you put into that cake or put into that recipe, that cake is going to be awesome and you want to eat it all up and be able to share it with others, or it's going to be terrible and you're going to want to throw it out, right? But here's what happens in life. Oftentimes we make choices and we put the cake together and we find that the cake is nasty, it's disgusting, it's gross. And we take a bite of it and we're like, oh, yuck. This is not at all what I thought it was going to be. And we want to go back on our decisions instead of sticking with what we know, with what we have prepared in the first place. And then that's when I think that expression comes in. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't continue to make uh, negative decisions. You can't continue to make uh, unrational decisions. You can't continue to make decisions without thinking and think that the results are going to yield good fruit. What's the definition of insanity? It is to do the same thing over and over again and expect different results, right? So if you keep on doing things that are negative or contradictive to the way you want to go, you can expect that what the outcome is going to be is that you're going to receive something you don't necessarily like, right? And this is where your choices come in, which brings me right into the next one. Let's define the word choices. All right, so the word choices is defined as the act or the power of choosing a person or a thing while selecting carefully. All right, which is something that I think needs to be discussed, which is the last part, while selecting carefully. A lot of time we are given, God has given us the ultimate power in being able to have choice. We can choose death, we can choose life, we can choose good, we can choose bad. But here's the thing behind it. Behind every choice, there's a trade-off. Either something good is going to happen or something bad is going to happen. And in most people's cases, the negative that happens is what they don't like. But does that mean that choice was does that mean that choice didn't have a trade-off? No, it absolutely did. You just didn't like the choice. So therefore it now becomes a consequence versus a trade-off in most people's mind. But I'm here to tell you that consequences and trade-offs are two different things. And I think there's a problem that we need to discuss when it comes to choices, which brings me right into the next point. The problem with choices is we oftentimes do not take care in the way we choose things. And we let until we see what the results yield of the former choices. Let me read that one more time because I kind of fumbled through it. The problem is oftentimes we don't choose with care. We wait until after we see the results of our former choices. And therein lies the problem with choice. Ladies and gentlemen, let me say this. Choice is a great thing. It's 100% a great thing because without it we can't find any direction. We won't know how to get through things properly. But here's the thing about it. You can always see in two ways. Because honestly, when it comes to choices, there's no middle. You can see it good or bad. You can see it negative or positive, and you can see it for yourself or for others. And here's the thing. What you do and the choices you make oftentimes don't just affect you, they affect other people. And some choices will affect them in a major way, and some choices won't affect them in a major way. But we gotta be careful in selecting our choices. But I think a lot of times, here's what happens is we react to a situation, or we get in a particular circumstance, and we begin to react to all these things, and we look to see uh, what type of trade-off we're going to get from what we chose to react to, instead of stopping and thinking about what it is we want to accomplish. We have oftentimes a here and now mindset. And I'm definitely going to talk more about this in a later podcast. But we have a here and now mindset, a mindset that says, if it's not done now, if I don't have it now, if I don't have it, it's not important. It's not relevant. I don't matter. When really, oftentimes, it takes a lot longer to get somewhere that's relevant. It takes a lot longer to get somewhere. It takes multiple choices of choosing the right thing over and over again, which brings me back to a few podcasts ago where I talked about consistency. It takes consistency to build something. It takes consistency every single day to build a business. It takes consistency every single day to get your body into shape. It takes consistency to build a relationship. In everything in life, it takes consistency. And that consistency is a choice. Every day you wake up, you got to choose to do it, even when you don't feel like it. And oftentimes, the choice that we make is put together with how we feel about something, instead of being put together with what we want to be the outcome of the thing that we are pursuing, or the thing or the choice that we made formally. This is why you hear so many people say it's so hard to get by in life, it's so hard to do this, it's so hard to do that. I don't really think like that. Life is as hard as you make it. Now, don't get me wrong. There are bumps and things in the road that are going to make life difficult. Nobody never said that life could be easy or a simple journey. It's going to be difficult for all of us, but we can make it less burdensome with the choices that we choose. And oftentimes we want to see the result of our choices, of our irrational choices, before we choose to do something differently. And that, my friends, is problematic. We should learn from the history. We should learn from those who came before us. We should learn from those who've already done it, been there and done that. And here's what it is. Though the circumstances or the situation may be entirely different, the conclusion of it is all the same. How do I gain wealth? Well, you don't gain wealth by being passive. You don't gain wealth by doing things under the table. You don't gain wealth quickly. It's built over time. How do I get into a long-term marriage or a relationship that is like my mother's, my father's, my grandmother's, and all them? That's built over time. How do I find purpose over time? Consistent choices. And some of these choices that we're choosing to choose, which are negative, can definitely be pushed aside if we choose to listen to those who came before us and have already been through it. But oftentimes we think we have more knowledge than those that have came before us, and we're highly mistaken. We need to start thinking more. Careful selection. Careful selection. That's what a choice is. Careful selection. Careful selection. One more time. Careful selection. That's what true choices are. The rest of what we do is most of the time just reacting to situations, and we wonder why we never get the outcomes we are searching for. And this doesn't, please, people, let me get this. Let me say this. This doesn't mean start writing down every single thing or start making vision boards or start making tons of lists, because that's fine. It's fine to have a vision, a dream, a goal, a set. But if you don't put something to that, that's exactly where it's going to stay. If you look at that vision board, or if you look at the dream board, and every day you make choices that are contradictory to that, or you got a list of standards that you want in a mate, or what you want in life, and every day you wake up and make choices that are contradictory to that, you are not going to get those results. You ain't gonna manifest it, you ain't gonna pray it down, you ain't gonna do nothing. The only way it's going to happen is make better choices. There is the key. Make better choices. Make choices that will affect your life in a positive way, in a way that's going to project your life forward and not propel you backwards. I once heard a pastor say this: if you're not moving forward, you're backsliding. And as you guys know, I am a Christian. So I believe that with 100% of my heart, if I'm not moving forward in my relationship with Christ, I'm backsliding. Because in your stagnation and you just staying still, everything is passing you by. And eventually you're like, where am I? Because everything else is gone. What you used to know is gone. And you're stuck. And what happens to those things that get stuck? They get passed by. They get overlooked. They get pushed to the back. Now you get it? Great analogy, man. I just thought about that right there on the spot. So let's talk about trade-offs. Right? First, let's define the word. All right. So it is a balancing factor of which are not attainable at the same time. A giving up of one thing in return for another, or otherwise known as an exchange. All right, let's go through that one more time. A balancing factor of which things are not obtainable at the same time. A giving up of one thing in return for another, or known as an exchange. Pretty simple definition. Here lies the problem. Oftentimes, and this goes back to that have your cake and eat it too. Oftentimes we don't want to give up things. We want everything. But that's not the way life works. In order to get something, you have to give something. In order to purchase something, you have to yield money. In order to get an education, you either go to school or you begin to read and research. In order for you to make progression in life, you have to step forward. You can't continue to you can't continue to be stagnant. You can't continue to act the same way, do the same things, and expect that something's going to happen. You're going to have to give up something in order to get something. The question then becomes, what are you willing to give up? And in our selfish nature, we often say we don't want to give up anything. But here's the problem. If you don't give up something, you're not going to get. The Bible often says it's better to give than to receive, right? And in giving, you get your blessings. So here's the thing I got to say. You want something? Give more. You want to move to the next level? Do more. Give more. You want to find your way in life? Start giving. Notice that the biggest givers in life seem to be doing better than those who are extremely selfish. And I know this may sound ridiculous because right now in the world and the things that are going on, it seems like those who are incredibly selfish seem to be winning. But the victories seem to be short-lived because now even in society there's a ton of pushback for the things that they thought they had. They made a choice, and then in trade-off, now all of a sudden you're getting this pushback and you don't understand why. You just reacted to something. You didn't think about it. You have to give up something in order to get. You have to to think about what it is you want to obtain in a particular moment in order to get where you are going. You can't have both. Doesn't mean you cannot obtain it at some point, but just know that in order to get something, you have to give. That's the way life works. In anything in life, it's sad that people think they don't have to do much of anything in order to get. The more you want from something or somebody, expect to give that much more. You want to see yourself elevate to a higher standard, expect to give more. Expect to do more. God wanted the world full of people. He gave his son to die for us. It's about giving. That's the trade-off. So if I had to rephrase this, I would say, in your choice, what are you willing to give? The problem with our choices is oftentimes they're self-centered and we don't want to give anything. We just want to receive, 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 receive. But here's the problem with receiving. After a while, you run out of space. I'm having that problem with some of my closet space now because I got a lot of shoes, I got a lot of sneakers, I got a lot of clothes and stuff, and slowly but surely, I'm starting to run out of closet space, and I'm looking for other ways to put my shoes and do some other things because the space I'm in is nice, but it's kind of small. Or either I have to start giving some things away, which I have. I've given bunches of clothes away, and I've given shoes away. But uh, in order to free up space so that you can get more, you start running out of space. When you don't want to trade off, you start running out of space. So let's move into the next one. Choices versus consequences. These are two different things, but it looks the same depending on circumstances or the situation you may find yourself in. I'm here to tell you that choices and trade-offs are not the same. Consequences and trade-offs are not the same. Consequences are the conclusion for your actions. What's the end result of the action that you chose? A trade-off, as we discussed earlier, is giving one thing and getting another. Here's the problem: the two are often conflated together because of a situation that you're in. So let's just take the single parent epidemic, the single mother epidemic right now, right? And ladies, I'm not trying to come at you, but I'm just giving an example. The, the ladies right now seem to be making choices based on their preferences and the things that they want. Now, some of these things they'll disinclude because the guy is handsome or whatever the case may be, and they wind up having a child with this person, right? They made a choice to have a child. They made a choice to have sex, not looking at some of the other things that they should have been looking at. Maybe I should choose marriage before then. Maybe I should choose to ask more questions to see what it is or who this person is before I jump and make a decision that could affect me for life. And then now here's the trade-off. Here's the trade-off. The trade-off is now you got a child and you have more responsibilities put on you. You have less time. But it seems like a consequence because it's something negative versus something positive. You made a decision, and the trade-off is now you have more responsibilities. The consequence is you lose some of your time and you don't have as many options as you used to. I can say the same thing about the fellas. Hey, I want to live the street life. I want to do this. Well, here's the trade-off. Now you lose your freedom. Now you're always watching your back. But they seem like consequences because now you're getting penalized for the choices that you made. There's always something you are going to have to give in order to get. You want fast money, you want easy. Well, unfortunately, you're going to have to give up maybe the quiet life that you like, the simple and easy things that you think are so good, because now you have things that you need to do. There's places that you need to, there's stuff that is in your way as of right now. And they seem like consequences more than they do trade-offs. But I'm here to tell you, if you make better decisions, they don't feel like consequences. They just feel like trade-offs. First comes love, then comes the marriage, then comes the baby, right? So let's just take that for example. You meet up, meet with somebody, y'all fall in love. Hey, y'all start talking, y'all talking. You get married, and then in your marriage you talk even more. Talk. And you finally say to each other, "We want to have a child." But now here's the thing about it. Here's the beautiful thing. You have a plan of action. And a trade-off for it is now you have a beautiful union with a mother and a father who can raise a child in the way that they always thought. See how it can work positively? Don't feel like a consequence then, right? It feels great. But you still lost. There was still something you had to give up. You still had to give up time. You still had to give up energy. You still had to give up a lot of stuff in order to gain. But now it doesn't seem like a consequence. It seems like a payoff because you thought about it. You thought about your choices. So let's wrap this thing up because it's been 30 minutes of me just yammering away. And we had some hiccups here getting started. So I thank you guys for staying with me and sticking with me. And plus, everything here is about to die. So I need to hurry up and get off of here. In conclusion, all I'm going to say is this: think before you act. Please think before you act. Take long time. I don't care how long it takes. Take a week, take a month, take a year. Think before you act. And remember, in everything you do, man, this if you don't believe in the Bible, take this principle. Take this as a principle. Count the cost. The Bible says this: first, before a man goes to war, he must first get wise counsel and then count the cost. That's the trade-off. Take time to think about your decision. And then as you're thinking about that decision, count the cost. What is it that I will have to trade off in order to get the wanted conclusion or the wanted ending? This is these particular just monologues, I guess, or just theories and stuff that I'm throwing out here are principles of life. These all these things can be put into play in your relationships, into what you want to achieve in life, into where you want to go, into your walk with God. These are things that you can implement whether you're single or you're married, but I'm in particularly talking to singles because I think that a lot of times us as single people don't do enough preparation. We have a particular outcome that we want, but the outcome comes with preparation. First, thinking about what it is you want and then counting the cost. Are you willing to pay that cost in order to achieve that particular outcome? Because there's a choice and then there's a trade off. You're always going to have to give something in order to get something. And with that said, I'm going to wrap it up. I think, once again, I think all these discussions are touching the surface of these particular topics. You can take these and use them and develop them and research them yourself. But I just want to kind of give you a brief overview of what I think these are. Single people, it's time for us to get prepared. Uh, Definitely check this one out on YouTube once I post it up. Hopefully more, I can get some people to start joining in. I know I do my streams kind of late at 11 p.m., but maybe we can bump up the time. So let me know in the comments if I should bump up the time for the streams, and maybe we can bump it up to maybe 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock or something like that. And we can get some people in here, help get the chat going and get some response. Uh, Outside of that, check out my Instagram at Sincere the Artist. Uh, Instagram / Sincere the Artist. You will see. Let's talk about it. Formerly, what do you want to talk about? I have about 20 of those episodes up there. Most of them have to do with relationships and dating. A few of them are different things, but you never know what you're going to catch there. I will soon be doing more specials. I got another live stream coming up called 101s with Sincere, where I will be talking to a guest 101. I don't know exactly how I'm going to format it yet, but we will see. Like I said, I got things coming. Thank you guys for sticking with me. I hope you guys appreciate all these. I appreciate you, and I'll see you for the next one. Peace.